This is the After Party, live with Kim McAllister. Pick a couch, grab a drink, and settle into the conversation.
Hey everybody, it is the After Party live on this Friday, July 5th. I hope you guys had a really good 4th of July, despite everything that's going on in America. But we keep it light on the After Party, and my apologies for a long Mark Thompson show. We're starting late today, but we have some things to get to, some stories to get to. Might not get to all of them, but I did want to do a touch of trivia. And then in about 8 minutes, we have Tim Sika who will pop in, and he's got a lot of great movie reviews. So we'll do that today. That is all here on the After Party Live. Do want to thank Wes for throwing $5 at the PayPal account today. It's the first PayPal contribution in July. So thank you so much to Wes. Yay! Again, find the PayPal information in the show description, or you can find the link, the dynamic link. You just click on it in the About tab under the After Party Live show here on YouTube. Okay, let's get to some stuff. Oh, Cindy throwing in a $10 contribution. Thank you for the animal videos, trivia, and Tim Sika. Thank you for being here, Cindy, and for the contribution to the show. The super chat, super stickers are live here on YouTube, and it really helps keep this show going. So huge thank you. As long as there is interest, as long as these contributions keep coming in, we're going to keep doing the show. We being me. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay. Ooh, what are you saying? B.A. Ware says, I see other shows that allow the creator to automatically have another live show. Oh, I don't know. If you have any information about that, I'd love you to send it to me. You can send it to kim@theafterparty.live or kimmcallister@gmail.com, because that would be fantastic. I would love to do that. All right. Yeah, I would love to have one end and the other begin. That would be great. Easier to get it all together and open Windows and do everything else. All right, let's jump right in, because I have a lot of stuff for you guys today. And the first thing I wanted to show you was that, look at this. This is the city, not the city, but it is now the city of Mountain House, California. It was in an unincorporated area, kind of more of a community than a city. And now, for the first time in more than 10 years, California has incorporated a new city. So Mountain House, California becomes a city. About 30,000 people live in Mountain House. It's technically in San Joaquin County. I've always called it the far edge of the Bay Area, right? But yeah, so now it's officially a city in California. Wanted to throw that out there. How about a little bit of Lotto of the Day? Let's do it. This is a Lotto of the Day with a grandma who gave some advice, and it paid off. This Baltimore man told the Maryland Lottery that his scratch-off ticket strategy is based on the advice his grandma gave him several years ago. She said, "Not everyone can be lucky every day." And so he puts her advice into action by buying 2 scratch-off tickets when he feels the desire to play the lottery. And if neither ticket is a winner, he won't buy any more that day. If one is a winner, he'll keep buying. The man uses his technique at the Easy Quick Food Market in Pasadena, where the Mega Money scratch-off ticket earned him a $50,000 prize. He said his grandmother's advice has earned him more than $150,000 in prize money over the years. He said, "I've won big twice, but the last time was a long time ago." He said, "I wasn't sure it would ever happen again." And indeed, it did. Okay, let's do a little bit of trivia, why don't we, before we go to Tim Sika, because I had other stories I wanted to show you today, but time is really short. So, it's Friday, I know, but we're doing Trivia Thursday, and because we've got Tim Sika coming in, it's movie trivia. You guys ready? Everybody gathered together? Here we go for movie trivia. The first one. Which movie features Ray Liotta narrating the line, "As far back as I can remember, I always wanted to be a gangster"? Ray Liotta. As far back as I remember, I always wanted to be a gangster. What movie is that? Yep, Jim got it. It's Goodfellas. That's exactly right, my friend. It is Goodfellas. Next one. In which classic film is Colin Clive screaming the phrase, "It's alive! It's alive!" at the top of his lungs? In which classic film is Colin Clive screaming the phrase, "It's alive! It's alive!" at the top of his lungs? Well done on all the Goodfellas answers. It's alive, it's alive. What's it from? Jim gets it again. It's Frankenstein. That's exactly right. Yeah, it's alive. JT gets it. Calvin gets it. Nice, you guys. Okay. Number 3, Jeff Goldblum makes his point when he states, if the Pirates of the Caribbean break down, the pirates don't eat the tourists. In which 1993 thriller was that? Jeff Goldblum says, if the Pirates of the Caribbean breaks down, the pirates don't eat the tourists. In which 1993 thriller? Yes, Wes gets it. It's Jurassic Park. You are correct, sir. Teacher Lori also in it. And William Martinez is in it. All right. Next one. R. Lee Ermey informs Vincent D'Onofrio, "You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece." In which 1987 Vietnam War movie? You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece. Which movie is that from? Regarding the Pirates of the Caribbean, yes, it is 1993. That's correct. Is that not what I said? You guys also got this one right. William says Full Metal Jacket. Jim says Full Metal Jacket. JT says Platoon. Teacher Lori says Apocalypse Now. It is indeed Full Metal Jacket is the answer to this one. Number 5, trivia. Joey, you like movies about gladiators? Is a query made by Peter Graves in which groundbreaking 1980 comedy? Joey, you like movies about gladiators? 1980 comedy. What do we have? Yep, Jim, Throwing Down Airplane. That is exactly correct. I know we're moving through these pretty fast, but I want to make sure. I'll take airport. Airplane, airport. I know what you meant. Yeah? Good job, you guys. Well done. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Next one. Speaking of instructions, Faye Dunaway's memorable quote, "No more wire hangers," appears in the 1981 docudrama. No More Wire Hangers, 1981 docudrama with Faye Dunaway. It's called what? I'm not seeing the answer. Yes, it's Mommy Dearest. That's exactly right. And the only reason I would have gotten that one right is because I used to say it to my mom when I was a teenager just to make her mad. Yes, it is Mommy Dearest. Well done. I'm going to bring in Tim Sika before his segment. We're doing a little bit of movie trivia, Tim. So we'll see if you can... it might be... I don't know. You might be kind of like bringing in a ringer to get these answers right. I don't know.
Oh, okay. All right.
Hi. Happy post 4th of July.
Yeah, same to you. Same to you. It was nice for once. There weren't any big sonic booms in the neighborhood, which play havoc with my animals. They just go berserk. But there were, nice little pops and, celebratory kind of sounds that were just nice in the background this year instead of like being, having your windows like shaken from their frame. Yeah. Anyway, so it was nice. How was your 4th of July?
It was good. Had the family over and.
Good.
It wasn't super hot, so it was good.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You ready for this question?
Yeah.
Tom Hanks comes down hard on one of his players with "There's no crying in baseball." In which 1992 film?
It's so funny. I know that movie. I could tell you who directed that movie. Penny Marshall. Madonna was in it, and I know what it was. I have to go through these mnemonic devices in my head. A League of Their Own. That's
right. Trevor gets it as well. It is A League of Their Own.
All right, Trevor.
There's no crying in baseball.
Yeah.
All right, next one. On the phone, Johnny Depp explains to a movie producer, "Worst movie you ever saw? Well, my next one will be better. In which 1994 dramatic comedy? Johnny Depp.
Ooh.
Worst movie you ever saw? Well, my next one will be better. 1994 dramatic comedy. It was...
Was it the one about Ed Wood?
That's exactly what it was.
Oh, okay.
Ed Wood. William
right.
got it as well. It was Ed Wood. Yeah.
All right, William. Yay.
Okay, just a couple more. A gun-wielding Nicolas Cage calmly tells the cashier, I'll be taking these Huggies and whatever cash you got in this black comedy.
Oh.
Trevor got Ed Wood. Teacher Lori got Ed Wood. Well done, you guys.
What year?
It doesn't say.
I'm drawing a blank.
It gives the quote, I'll be taking these Huggies and whatever cash you got. We know it's a black comedy, Nick Cage, but we don't know the year.
Oh, man. Yeah, that sounds vaguely familiar. Parenthetically, I'm terrible at these trivia games.
Well, my friends in the chat are getting it. JT says Arizona. Yep.
Arizona.
Trevor
okay.
says Raising Arizona. William, Raising Arizona. Jim got it. Portions Redacted got it. Lori said Leaving Las Vegas. Close. Calvin, Raising Arizona. B.A. Ware gets it. Nice. Okay.
Wow.
Last one.
Okay.
In this 1944 drama, Lauren Bacall tells Humphrey Bogart, you know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
Was that To Have and Have Not?
That is exactly right, my friend.
Okay.
To Have and Have Not.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, good. Not bad. I think I just missed one.
Pretty good. And that is movie trivia, a trivia Thursday that we're doing on a Friday because we were not on a Thursday. So well done, everybody. Thank you for playing along. And now it is time for At the Movies with Tim Sika. Yay!
Here we are. Boy, yeah, movies. Movies seem so trivial these days considering what the hell is going on in this country and in this world. But anyway, that's a different conversation, right?
No, it's true. But sometimes you need the
distraction.
Yeah. You need to be able to take your head out of all the seriousness and kind of escape for a hot minute. Otherwise, it can start to drag you down, you know?
Oh, God, yeah, that's for sure. Yeah. Well, the first movie that we're going to talk about that I think will provide what you just described for the moviegoer who is going to go see this movie. It's called The Secret Art of Human Flight. And this is a very, very special movie. It's a magical, realist comedy fantasy drama about this widower and author of children's books who's struggling to come to terms with this inconsolable grief that he has due to the death of his wife by going on what can only be described as a weird journey with an eccentric and somewhat sketchy guru acquired through the dark web. So right there, right? Red flag. And this guru, this is how inconsolable this guy is. And this guru claims to have unlocked the power to fly. Okay, interesting premise, right? Okay, the widower is played by Grant Rosenmeyer, and the guru is played by Paul Raci, who 4 or 5 years ago received the Best Supporting Actor Oscar nomination for his performance in Sound of Metal. I don't know if you saw that. Excellent drama about this heavy metal drummer who's losing his hearing. Anyway, Secret Art of Human Flight. If you had to pick one movie to see this week, I think of all the ones I'm going to talk about, I would recommend that this be the one because there's something about it, which I'm hoping I can presence here, that makes it very special, as I said, and also a movie difficult to compare with any other movie I can think of. Maybe there was this, when I was watching it, there was a smidgen of Close Encounters of the Third Kind that certain scenes reminded me of, where the protagonist, Ben Grady, played by Grant Rosenmeyer, starts indulging in what looks like these weird behaviors to outsiders, but that make total sense to him. Like, when Richard Dreyfuss started making mountains out of mashed potatoes at the dinner table, or began, making a model of Devil's Tower in his living room out of junk he was throwing into his house via the kitchen window. Remember Close Encounters? Well, our protagonist in Human Flight engages in some similarly weird behavioral stuff. So those parts kind of reminded me of Close Encounters, but unlike that film, the Secret Art of Human Flight has something special about it that's hard to let go of. And now, before I talk about those things, I do have a few reservations here, probably because I keep comparing this film to the director's other films, which he wrote himself. But this feature film debut script by Jesse Orenshine for The Secret Art of Human Flight is somewhat problematic. I found it a little problematic. The metaphysics of the piece are a little fuzzy and underdeveloped. Plot points are raised, then inexplicably dropped. One possible way to interpret the film, which certainly has its share of humor. There's a lot that's fun. There's a lot of things in it that are funny, but it also deals with some heavy themes like grief and severe personal loss. Is that there's an implication, and this may just be me, but there's an implication that perhaps suicide may be the answer to dealing with the pain of indescribable loss. And that made me feel kind of weird. But anyway, these personal caveats aside, the film emotionally does admittedly deliver, and it delivers because, in my opinion, it is brilliantly directed by multi-talented Bay Area filmmaker H.P. Mendoza, who somehow manages to, I don't know if he masks the deficiencies of some of the writing. He does something to the point where cumulatively the film has power. He also edited the film, he sound designed the film, and composed the deeply moving musical score, which culminates in this end credit song, which is heard over the end credits, is called Fly, in keeping with the film's theme of flight, personal flight, which I hope the distributors of this film will aggressively promote to the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences in the Best Song category at next year's Oscars, because it's not only a great song and a great piece of music, it's the best song to be featured in any movie released in the last 30, 35 years. And when that song appears at the end and we, the audience, take it in and realize that this song is summarizing in music what I think was the screenwriter's intent, despite any misgivings I may have about the script, the movie completely owns us. The other thing about the film, too, with the performances, Paul Raci is the guru. His name is Mealworm. How's that for a name? Mealworm. And Grant Rosenmeyer in the lead. And every single one of the supporting cast, they're all stellar. The acting's great in this movie. And the actors really sell the movie. So circling back to what I originally said at the outset of the review, if you have to pick one movie to see this week, I recommend that this be the one, The Secret Art of Human Flight. And I'm going to make a plug here. It opens today at the Roxy Theater. It's opening at a bunch of theaters in LA and New York, but it opens today exclusively at the Roxy Theater in San Francisco. And H.P. Mendoza, the director, is going to appear in person at the 6:15 p.m. screening tonight, Friday, July 5th, for a post-screening Q&A and discussion. So if there are any tickets left, that's the screening you want to attend. So just go to the Roxy Theater website and order yours before they're all gone. You will thank me for it, trust me.
So is this kind of more of an artsy film where it's not going to be in wide release at most theaters? It'll be at select kind of.
Well, it's playing. I would say right now it's opening, I think, at about a dozen theaters, and it's going to expand. So I don't know if I would call it artsy, if you mean by artsy sort of like pejorative. I mean, or just it's an independent film.
Okay.
But I think I know that there's elements in it that I think can appeal to a very, very wide audience, because it's about loss and grief. And who of us, every day there's something or other some kind of loss that we're dealing with, So The Secret Art of Human Flight. Yeah, this is the movie that if you have to pick one, you have to see this week.
Okay. All right. And
I probably should have left it for last, right? But I didn't.
No, that's good. We'll start out with the good stuff.
Okay.
This one is a French movie. Last summer.
Yes.
But I couldn't find the English poster.
Well, yes, last summer, and as Monty Python would say, and now for something completely different. We've got Catherine Breillat's French drama. It's called Last Summer. Catherine Breillat has been making movies for over 40 years now as a writer-director. She started in the business as an actress. She played a dressmaker in the infamous Last Tango in Paris, and who in her films, Kim, generally deals in taboo subjects and places where arguably some film fans might prefer to avoid. Mm-hmm. And she's made another one of those films. Another one of her emblematic and compelling dramas and explorations of sexuality and intimacy. And in Last Summer, which is in French and is subtitled in English, and a remake of a 2019 Danish film called Queen of Hearts, Actress Leah Drucker, who's there next to the boy, plays a lawyer who lives in Paris with her husband and two young daughters. And one day, her husband's 17-year-old son, played by newcomer Samuel Kircher from a previous marriage, moves into the house and, cut to the chase, has an affair with his stepmother.
Oh, my.
I know. This is going to
Are you sure this isn't porn?
No, it's
okay.
not. See, this is what's weird about this movie. I don't know how I'm going to say this without, like, implicating myself. No. Okay. I found this movie to be a very sensual, sexy, weirdly enough. I thought I was going to find it more uncomfortable than anything else.
Sure.
But then was surprised, well, not really surprised because Braillard is a hell of a filmmaker, to find this drama to not only be a strong film, but a really provocative and powerful essay on sensuality and eroticism and sexual power dynamics, adult responsibility, teenage lust, and, well, human behavior, because it doesn't judge the situation. And in the end, in fact, it's all about behavior, societal convention and complex human emotions. It's extremely well directed. I think if it had been directed by anybody else, I might have turned it off after the first 20 minutes because of the subject matter.
Yeah.
But there's this balance of tenderness and cruelty pervading this situation, which just kind of happen. It's dramatically compelling. The sex scenes are incredibly tasteful. They're shot in extreme close-up, and the actors are directed in such a way that their on-screen interactions in and of themselves become just kind of interesting to watch from a character standpoint. I found it to be immensely affecting and felt it worked not only as an exploration of this particular type of situation, maybe one that happens more than is reported, I don't know, but it was also a compelling domestic drama as well. So, pick your poison. If you like dramas that tackle subjects not usually tackled in cinema, Last Summer is the movie for you.
Interesting.
It's also just an interesting movie because you can't stop watching it. Oh. You're going, where is this going to go? I mean, where is it going to go? I was very impressed with it. I like all her movies, the director's movies, but this is one of her best. She's, I think, in her mid-70s now. Yeah, so there you go. That was Last Summer.
So you're talking about escaping reality. This is kind of one of those movies that you just stick your head in the clouds and...
Yeah. Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. Have you ever seen any of the Beverly Hills Cop movies?
Yeah, I mean, I saw the early ones.
Yeah. Well, speaking of movies that you'll really enjoy, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. is... it's yet another one of those 30 years after the previous movie in the franchise sequels to, the 1994. Yeah, it's 30 years. 1994 is Beverly Hills Cop. It's a sequel to that, the Beverly Hills Cop 3, which came out in 1994. The franchise started in 1984. So, 40 years after the first in the franchise was released. And this one stars Eddie Murphy as Axel Foley. He's this street smart detective, or not detective. He's a Detroit cop who, travels to Beverly Hills, California to always investigate crimes, even though they're totally out of his jurisdiction. He's a loose cannon, right? But he always gets his man. And this particular crime in this fourth Beverly Hills movie involves a drug cartel, somebody being framed for a murder that they didn't commit, and Axel Foley, the Beverly Hills Cop of the title, reconnecting with his estranged daughter, who's this defense attorney in LA who happens to be under the tutelage of a close friend of Axel Foley's, who was once a police officer, but he's now a private investigator. Anyway, you had to be there. So this is an action comedy, and it's a good one. I want to say it surprised me because I didn't think they were going to pull this off so many years after the last one, but it does deliver, I think, in every department that's made this franchise so popular with movie audiences, over the last 40 years, 4 decades. Everything that fans of this franchise love these movies for, lively chase action sequences, lots of shoot 'em ups, a scooch of violence, and the comic, larger-than-life presence of Eddie Murphy, who's, he's getting a little long in the tooth, but he's lost none of his genius for these types of movies. In fact, there's nothing Eddie Murphy can't do. I mean, he's brilliant and he's hilarious. I would love to see this guy in a straight dramatic role. I wish somebody would write him a straight dramatic role. He'd probably win every award in the book. He's just brilliant. Anyway, it's the feature film directorial debut of this guy named Martin Malloy, who gets it. He understands. I like when they hire directors who get, or who appear to get, what, especially when they're tackling a franchise film, they get what makes the franchise so special. And he understands what makes the franchise work. The pacing of the film is crisp and fleet. He has a good script here by Will Beall and a couple of other writers. And it's funny and entertaining. It's a pure summer popcorn movie that, surprisingly enough, is not getting a theatrical release. It's gone straight to Netflix, where I suspect it's going to be a huge hit. It's streaming now. But yeah, for total diversion and fun summer entertainment, you really can't go wrong with this movie. And
weird. Why did they not put it out in the theater?
I still don't know what this means for the future of movie theaters, but it's the kind of summer release moviegoers used to travel to movie theaters to see. I mean, it really is. It's one you want to see with the audience, because, you'd be cheering along with the audience and laughing and applauding and, gasping, because it's such a wild movie. But
I
it's a
thought
good
that would have
one.
done really well this weekend. So.
Wouldn't you have?
Yeah.
So who knows? Anyway, but I liked it. I recommend it.
Do we get the laugh that Eddie Murphy?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's almost like you have to wait for it. And when he does it, he knows he's doing it, and it's sort of like a wink thing in it. But it's just the time. His comic timing. Absolute genius, this guy.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
So here's a movie. There is, no matter what you say about it, there's no way I'm getting out of it. Every time we drive past our movie theater in town, Jacob looks over and he sees the poster on the side of the building, and he's like, "When is that movie coming out? How many more days is that? How many more days is that?" This is in my future this weekend. It's Despicable Me 4.
Well, I happened to see this movie at an early access screening where they invited a lot of kids, and they seemed to respond to it. But I'll get to that. Yeah, this is another franchise IP picture. Only this one's an animation feature from Illumination Studios. I think it's the 6th overall installment in the Despicable Me movie franchise. I think it's 6. I know there's 4 movies with the title Despicable Me, and this is the 4th, but there's 2 I can't remember. Anyway, and really, the only reason this movie was made, in my opinion, okay, and I'm talking as a critic now, not as a kid, obviously was to cash in on what more or less was a certain thing, or that Illumination thought was a sure thing. I don't think it's singing too sweet a song at the box office either. I think my Daily Variety reported that it was just number 4 in box office takings for the week. Usually it's not the best sign for a new movie. And I remember when I saw it, it was particularly hot out the day I saw it. So, I don't think it was hard for parents to get their kids into the movie. Anyway, the problem with it is that there's no longer anything fresh or fun about the concept. The concept being that there's this super villain turned secret agent. His name is Gru, and he's got this, the gaggle of yellow colored minions who talk funny, right? Yeah. And, I suppose it's not a disreputably bad movie. I mean, I've seen worse. Like I said, I saw it at an early access screening, and there were lots of wee ones there chuckling throughout the movie, and even a smattering of applause came at the end. But from my perspective, after having sat through all but one of these Despicable Me movies, there was not too much memorable about the storyline, and there was this inconsequential plot that was more than anything clearly trading in on the popularity of the franchise. I took one note. I take a lot of notes when I see movies, and I took one note, I think, because there really wasn't much to note in this movie. It just sort of washed over me. It unfolded in the way that the lion's share of animated features being made today just invade your space. Yeah. I don't know what they expected or where they expected this movie to go. Anybody's guess is as good as mine, but where it went for me was the movie land of forgettable.
Oh.
One quick thing. I remember, Nick Shager of the Daily Beast. He's one of the few critics I read now. He made me gut laugh out loud when he wrote, because I thought, maybe I'm missing something here. But I thought I'm going to look at some critics I admire. He wrote, quote, "Despicable Me 4 proves it's time to euthanize the Minions," which pretty much parallels what I thought about it. But I don't know if I would have used that language, but I'm going, ooh, perfectly said. But, if you need something to take the kids to, I suppose the kids seeing this, it won't drive them to, making a wrong turn in life. I don't think it's going to do any lasting harm to their psyches or get them to join a gang or smoke or take drugs or anything. But I think kids deserve a lot better than more Minions. And that's what this is, just more Minions. And really, we don't see enough of the Minions in this. The Minions are what make me kind of crack up. Every time they do some little bit of business or they talk. And I don't remember that they were even in it that long. So I can't recommend it.
Okay.
But I know Jacob and you are going to go, right?
I know I pretty much have to go. I'll tell him Tim Sika didn't like this movie, and he'll say, "Yeah, we're going to go." It's good.
Yeah. Oh, that guy. Yeah,
we'll call Tim Sika on the way home from the movie and tell him how great it was. This movie I have seen. This next one.
Okay. Do we really want to talk about A Family Affair?
We're going to have to talk about A Family Affair. Now, I know that Michael Snyder did not like this movie. He called it part of the what did he say? Part of the Netflix program machine. Like they had to make a movie and they churned it out. She called it product. That's what he called it. Just product.
Yeah, that's a good description. Yeah.
There were a couple times when I was watching it with my daughter Julia where we almost turned it off. Like we thought it was so bad, and I couldn't believe it was so bad because Nicole Kidman is in this movie, right? You've got Joey King, you have Kathy Bates is in this movie.
I know.
It was like, why did they make this movie? And there were some parts that made me laugh out loud, but for the most part,
Kim, I'll tell you, I think I agree with kind of what you said. I kind of agree with what Michael said. It is probably bad, but I see so many movies that sometimes anything that will just give me a dab of pleasure or get me to keep watching, where I want to go, yay. And in this movie, you said it. We have Nicole Kidman, who I will see anything she's in, right? Kathy Bates, whom I love, both women Oscar winners, by the way, with impressive acting chops and pedigrees. And Zoe King as Kidman's daughter, she just blew me away. What a pro, and how she held her own with really those two heavyweight performers alongside of her. It's like this. It's yet another in what seems to be a thing in movies now, like the older woman falling head over heels with a younger but hot, and he's got to be hot, right, man? Yeah. In the case, remember The Idea of You, that one with Amazon Prime, Nicholas Galitzine played the hot young rock star who has an affair with a 40-something Anne Hathaway. Well, this one has Zac Efron playing a hot young action movie star who has an affair with an older woman played by Nicole Kidman. So apparently The Idea of You beat A Family Affair to the starting gate. These are silly movies, but I did think this one was funnier than The Idea of You.
It had some funny moments, yeah.
Yeah, some of the lines actually made me laugh or chuckle, and chunks of the dialogue were kind of punchy and witty and expertly delivered by these actors. Yeah, so was it a good movie? No, probably not. I can't defend the thing, but for whatever reason, it didn't press my buttons like it did yours and Michael's. And Kill Me Now, I did kind of enjoy it. Kidman and Bates and King were enough for me, and I've seen worse. So Kill Me Now, but I think it's just, you can't defend this movie. No,
you're not recommending
it. It's bad. No,
not recommending.
No,
even though you kind of enjoyed it.
Yeah, I gotta join the ranks of the Kim McAllisters and the Michael Snyders on this one. I couldn't live with myself otherwise. But it's like, it was kind of like a guilty pleasure in a weird way.
Okay, it's
only because I like Nicole Kidman, and I love Nicole Kidman. A friend of mine said the problem he had with it is that he could not get over her sort of like movie star kind of status. She's very glamorous, and he
Yeah.
found it hard to believe her in that role.
It's true.
And I can see that too, but
yeah.
I just like watching her go to work, especially in a kind of a crappy script like this.
I did like the daughter, Joey King. I thought she was great.
Oh, wasn't she wonderful? Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd love to see her, in her own movie. Although, what's the 24-year-old girl still living with her mother? What is she doing still living there? She should be out on her own.
Was she in those movies, the Kissing Booth movies?
I think so. Yeah. I think she was. Yeah. But, yeah. So anyway, we spent too much time on the family affair.
Next one is called Maxine. With
Maxine, triple X's. Yeah. Here's one grungy, gritty, and kind of wild ride for folks looking for this kind of movie. I would call Maxine a kind of a horror by way of murder mystery kind of slasher movie, although it's more than a slasher picture. It's the third installment. Here we go. We're doing more IP and franchise here. It's the third installment in director T. West's X film series. The other movie in that series was Pearl, and Maxine is a direct sequel to 2022's X. And the plot is focused on this adult film star. Her name is Maxine Minx, which is a great name for an adult film star. And she's played by Mia Goth. And she wants to kind of migrate out of porn movies and star in quote unquote real movies. So she gets the lead in a new horror film called The Puritan 2, which is being helmed by this super creepy female film director played by Elizabeth Debicki, who played Princess Diana in The Crown, by the way. She's totally, I almost thought, where have I seen this woman before? And I went, oh my God, yeah, she played Princess. She's a really good actress because, oh God, is she creepy in this movie. Anyway, She gets the role in this movie, Maxine Minx does, and she becomes the target of a serial killer as a result. The movie takes place in L.A. in 1985 when the serial killer, the Night Stalker, was roaming around L.A. murdering innocent women. And interestingly, but not too surprisingly enough, Maxine absolutely plays like a movie from 1985. I think St. Elmo's Fire is referenced at one point to remind us where we are. No scratchy grindhouse effects, but with a period with a period feel and a soundtrack that's jammed with MTV era tunes. This is the kind of movie that would play very well at drive-ins, if there are any drive-ins left, and will more than likely join the roster of 80s slasher thriller movie retrospectives. And parenthetically, both X and Pearl, the other two movies in this franchise, somehow managed to slip through my fingers. And because people always ask me, well, do I need to have seen the previous movies to get to like this or to enjoy it? And well, I hadn't. And for what it's worth on its own, Maxine played just fine. Stylish is kind of arty, but entertaining. And fans of these movies will no doubt, thrill at one of the most gruesome on-screen killings I have seen in quite a while. And I'm not going to. That's
really saying something because you've seen a lot.
Yes, and I don't want to spoil it, but I will say it involves Kevin Bacon. Who he's popping up everywhere these days. Yep. He's in the Eddie Murphy movie too, the Beverly Cops, the Beverly Hills Cop movie. He plays this really corrupt police officer in that, but he's really slimy in this. And but you know what? I would never wish the way he dies on even my worst enemy. So anyway, this movie's all sleazy. It's kind of trashy, but it's what they call in the biz quality trash. So if you're looking for some quality trash to nosh on at the movies this week, you can go check out Maxine.
Okay. All right. Let's recap it, my friend. The first one, you say if there's a movie to go see this weekend, this is it. It is called The Secret Art of Human Flight. You said it is very special and brilliantly directed, and you said this film has power.
Yes.
The Summer.
That's a good summation.
There you go. I'm taking notes. I'm taking my notes as you're taking your notes.
Yeah.
The next one is called The Summer. It's a French subtitled movie. You said it's a sensual movie, but it looks at provocative questions about sexual power and other things. You said it's dramatically compelling.
Yes. Yes, it was. Yeah.
Beverly Hills Cop Axel F, rather, Beverly Hills Cop Axel F. You said you liked it. You said it delivers. It's a summer popcorn movie, but it's on Netflix, and you said it does what it's supposed to do.
Yeah,
so it was a yes for you.
Mm-hmm.
Not a yes for you. Despicable Me 4. You said not too much memorable about this storyline. You called it forgettable. You said people with kids are going to go see it, but it's a meh. No.
Yeah. You have to let me know how it goes with your son after the fact. Yeah.
A family affair. You said you're not recommending it, but you kind of enjoyed it, like a bit of a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, moving right along.
And Maxine, you called Maxine a horror murder mystery slasher, kind of. You said it would have been a great drive-in movie, that it's stylish, arty, and entertaining, and you said it's quality trash.
That just about sizes up movies for the week, I would say.
Right on. Tim, you have done it again. You have come in, you have delivered, you have given us all we need to know to move forward with the weekend ahead, and I thank you so much for it.
Oh, well, thanks for having me, Kim. I will talk to you next week. I always look forward to it.
Sounds good. Bye, Tim Sika.
Bye, Kim McAllister. Bye.
Bye. Yay, Tim Sika, everybody. That is At the Movies with Tim Sika every Friday at 1:30, right around there, here on the After Party Live. We're very grateful that we get to have him on the show. Okay. Let's move back into the stories, because I know we're over time now, and I still have so much to share. So let's get right back into it, because how about this? Where were we? We're at garbage. Why are you littering? Check the box that applies to you. I'm lazy. I don't care about natural areas. Mommy still cleans up after me, or all of the above. This is part of a campaign in New York. And I think the city is called Avalon, where they're trying to get people to stop dumping their crap all over the place. And the city has made this video, which is somewhat amusing. They got to do it with humor sometimes, right? Check it out. Uh-oh. Or kind of check it out. No? There it is. Uh-oh. Start it again. Are you kidding me? I'm going to start it again because I couldn't quite get it together. There you go. Babylon is the name of the town.
Hey! What the hell are you doing? You're littering! Hey!
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, I've got an appointment Thursday. I can be there probably Friday will work. Yeah, I got to call you back. Yeah, can you get me the litter response team? I'm on Parkdale Drive in North Babylon.
Can I ask what you people are doing on my lawn?
Just wait. You'll see.
What the? Hey, what are you doing?
We don't tolerate litter in the town of Babylon.
Yep, town of Babylon. They are not having it. And so they kind of use a little bit of humor to make the point that they don't want that to happen in their community. And I have to say, I don't want it in my community either. So this is a town on New York's Long Island. It's Babylon. And they've got a chronic littering problem. So they have now enacted steep fines. They're putting forward this aggressive anti-littering campaign. It's called Operation Clean. And this ad about getting some karma with the garbage truck dumping this load on a litter bug's lawn, they say They've also put up a sign in town, and it says, "Why are you littering?" And again, with check your boxes, you see it right here, right? And I think they're trying to shame people. And that's what the town of Babylon supervisor told CBS New York. He said, "Why do we have to have the moniker of being slobs?" He said, "It's why we're getting in everyone's faces now and saying, really, enough is enough." They had 250 tons of road trash picked up so far this year, 15,000 pounds of garbage removed from creeks that lead into the Great South Bay. And he said, "We want to show people, if you are littering, you're doing something totally irresponsible and immature." So they've got a first-time offender fine of $1,000 for littering, and it goes up after that. Will it help? I don't know, but it sure feels nice to call people out that are really not doing much for the world. To something nice. How cute is this little penguin? I'm telling you, adorable. This is a macaroni penguin chick who just hatched at an aquarium in Tennessee. It's the Tennessee Aquarium, as a matter of fact, and they call this macaroni penguin chick impossibly cute. The parents of this little chick are named Bacon and Merlin. They tended to this egg laid in April. The new baby hatched in June 2nd. They say it seems like it's got a type A personality. The egg cracked perfectly straight down the middle. They said they've never seen that. It's very equal, very specific. And this chick is growing at they say an insane speed. The penguin, this little macaroni penguin chick, is in the Penguins Rock Gallery. It's their first hatchling since 2021. The aquarium is now home to 9 macaroni penguins and 14 Gen 2 penguins. But how could I not show you this picture? How adorable is that? Okay, I have this video that Heather posted on Facebook, and she said I could share it with everyone. And oh my gosh, I loved it. It kind of brought back some memories for me, and about glow bugs or fireflies. So I think she's vacationing in Indiana, and she gets this picture of the glow bugs or fireflies captured in a cup. And here's the video of them all crawling around and moving, right? And then check it out in the dark. You can see them light up in the cup. How cool is that? So beautiful. What a great moment. And I remember, trying to stop it on a glow. See if I can. There you go. I remember seeing them when I went to Wisconsin when I was a little girl. And when you see these bugs light up in the night sky, it's not something you forget. But I was reading an article after she posted this about glow bugs being threatened because of a loss of habitat. And so in some areas, people are trying to protect them because they're part of what makes an area special. So yeah, really, really cool experience. I wanted to show you that as well. Thanks to Heather for that video and for letting me show it. Very cool. Let's talk about, for a moment, this swamp creature. Well, good thing it doesn't exist anymore, but it did once upon a time. And apparently it had a head like a toilet seat. I can see that. Yeah. It's an ancient swamp creature with a toilet seat shaped head. They think it was the top predator before the dinosaurs. It was a massive fanged creature. It lurked in these swamps near the edge of the world 280 million years ago, long before the first dinosaurs appeared. And scientists who discovered these fossils in Namibia and Brazil want to know why this, they call it an archaic salamander-like predator, seemed to flourish millions of years after its relatives near the equator went extinct. They have published findings on this fossilized remains and the thoughts and research done into this in the journal Nature. That happened on Wednesday. They published that. They say it's Gassia genye is the name of it. Considerably larger than a person, probably hung out near the bottom of swamps and lakes. According to Jason Pardo, who's a National Science Foundation postdoc fellow at the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago. He said it's got a big, flat, toilet seat shaped head, which allowed it to open its mouth and suck in prey. It had these huge fangs, the whole front of its mouth, just giant teeth. He said it's a big predator, but potentially also a relatively slow ambush predator as well. So far, paleontologists have uncovered a well-preserved spine and skull, which you see here, some partial skulls, vertebra, and jaw pieces after conducting 2 seasons of field work, the largest skull more than 2 feet long. He says, or actually this is Claudio Marciano, who's a researcher and a professor in the Department of Geology at the University of Buenos Aires, says when we found this enormous specimen just lying on the outcrop as a giant concretion, it was really shocking. She said, I knew just from seeing it that it was something completely different. They say it tells the story of a creature that defied all expectations based on the evolutionary paths of better-known animals from that time, which mostly live closer to the equator. That creatures living in the far south have been harder to pin down. And they didn't know much about those that were living closer to the poles. But this one, Gaiasia, lived in the middle of the Permian period, which spanned 289 million years to 251 million years ago. It thrived as a top predator 40 million years before dinosaurs evolved to roam the earth. Interesting. At the time, Earth was dominated by the supercontinent Pangaea, which included a large landmass known as Gondwana. And that landmass included what's now South America, Africa, Antarctica, Australia, New Zealand, and the Indian subcontinent. Interesting. The animals appeared in the warmer, drier regions near the equator as 4-legged vertebrates called stem tetrapods, evolving and splitting into groups that formed the basis for modern animals. Interesting, yeah. So Gassia is a stem tetrapod. It's a holdover from that earlier group before they evolved and split into the groups that would become mammals, birds, reptiles, and amphibians, which are now called crown tetrapods. And they say it's very surprising that Gassia is so archaic, it was related to organisms that went extinct probably 40 million years prior. Look at that with a toilet seat head. I don't want that coming up out of me at the edge of a swamp. No, thank you. Anyway, thought that was interesting. All right, I'll let you guys go about the rest of your Friday and the rest of your weekend. I hope you had a good 4th of July, despite everything going on in the world. Hopefully you'll get to watch a movie or do something fun over the weekend that won't be too hot for you to go out and enjoy the world. And I'll be back with you on Monday. We've got the Nikki Maduro show. We're going to do a great show on Monday. Monday on the Mark Thompson show, Gary Dietrich in his new time slot talking politics, True Crime Corner with Courtney. She's got a great story already put together. And then we'll be back here on the After Party Live. And again, just a big thank you to Wes for the $5 contribution, to Cindy who threw in $10, and a thank you Cindy for watching. Wes with another $5. You deserve more than just PayPal from me. You bring joy, and that's priceless. I'm not gonna cry. Well, maybe I might. Wes, what a nice thing to say. You're the kindest, and I really appreciate it. And another $5 from Wes. Thank you very much. What a nice thing, Wes. You've always got my back, and I really appreciate it. And then Mimi throwing down $10 as well. Mimi, thank you. So Wes rallying for support of this show. I know I'd like to keep it on the air too. So thank you, Wes. Really appreciate it. That's 15 from Wes today, 10 from Cindy, 10 from Mimi. What a Friday. Thank you guys. And have a great weekend. I will see you back here next week on the old YouTube and on the podcast. And I appreciate you being here. All right. But for now, bye-bye.
The After Party Live would like to thank the following contributors and viewers like you.